Hey there, Luke here from Beckman Ready, where we help prepare you for the bumps, roadblocks, and emergencies that life throws your way. On this channel, we focus on pro tips, tricks, tools, and easy to digest information to help you prepare for emergencies. In this video, we're going to focus on when do wildfires happen. So let's get started. When do wildfires happen? Well, if we're talking about months, wildfires generally happen in the months of June to September, but that's actually expanding. And if you talk to a lot of firefighters now, they'll actually say we're in a year-round fire season. That's because it's getting hotter, the fuels, plants, and vegetation are getting drier, and the winds are picking up a little bit more, and especially the rainfall is coming later or there's less of it. And this is in areas that traditionally have wildfires. If we want to talk about a season that generally sees the biggest and the worst wildfires, we're usually seeing that in the fall. The four weather conditions that wildfires love are dry air, high winds, high temperatures, and then big or large fuel load. And again, that's dry vegetation, plants, trees, bushes, and grasses. When it comes to conditions and is there a fire near me? Do I need to worry? Do I need to think about evacuating? Or what are the conditions in my area? There are two big conditions that we talk about in the wildfire community. The first is a fire weather watch. The second is a red flag warning. So let's break those down. When you hear fire weather watch or red flag warning, I want you to think about the start of a race. Ready, set, go. The fire weather watch, well, that's the ready, that's your first beep. The red flag warning is your second one, that's your set, and then go in this case would be a fire. So ready, set, go. The fire weather watch basically says, hey, a red flag warning is likely in the next 12 to 72 hours. When you have a red flag warning, it says, hey, the weather conditions are ripe for fires in the next 24 to 48 hours. The two weather conditions that we really look at for a red flag warning, one is basically dry thunderstorms, lightning, so you could actually have that natural spark. But the other has to do with what's going to burn and how fast is it going to burn. Are winds likely? And that could be gusts or sustained winds. And then are fuels dry? So high winds and dry fuels, if there's a spark, we're going to have a big fire and it's going to move fast. Now what makes fuels dry? That's low relative humidity and high temperatures. That dries out the fuel. So the fire weather watch basically says, get ready. The red flag warning says, get set, and then go when the fire happens. That's when, well, we're going to respond, put it out, and everybody has to evacuate. So be thinking, if you hear those terms, you want to focus on, hey, I need to be thinking about getting ready to go. When you hear red flag warnings, or you hear red flag, or you think fires are likely, or you start hearing on the news that conditions are ripe for a fire, you might hear about power shutoffs. In California, we call those public safety power shutoffs, or PSPS. Now, there might be other terminology or other sayings in your area, but what that basically means is that the utility is going to try to de-energize lines or turn off power to customers so that utility lines, big lines up overhead, don't spark a fire. Because when you see those red flag conditions, red flag warnings, it's likely to have higher winds, it's probably dry, it's going to be hot, and there's good fuel buildup. And so what we don't want is we don't want power lines sparking or starting fires. Now, utilities are doing a whole bunch of work to try and prevent anything from getting close to their lines, but during strong winds, things can blow from a long ways away and get up into those lines and spark a fire. And so those PSPS, public safety power shutoffs, are basically ways to try and prevent fires. So we talked about when fires might happen, but let's talk about, well, a fire is happening. What can I do? How do I take action? How can I know about more fires that are coming to my area, or if a fire that already is burning is getting close to my home? So we have a couple tools for your tool belt. The first is the Red Cross Emergency Alerts app. It's really important for you to put in your home address, school, work, and even family members' addresses. If you put in all of those, you'll get notifications of when emergencies, including wildfires, are likely or are imminent. The second resource that I want to talk with you about is basically social media. Now, there are lots of different platforms, and depending on your area, your agency, your fire or law enforcement agency might use different tools, but you can generally say these days that Twitter and Facebook are the two platforms that firefighting agencies and law enforcement agencies are going to use pretty regularly. Twitter is really good for real-time information, and Facebook you can also see evacuation maps, routes, and they'll actually post really detailed information on Facebook, whereas Twitter might just say for these neighborhoods or for this street, it's time to get out, or the fire is here, or the fire is this many acres. The third resource that I want to tell you about are your emergency management agencies. So in your area, usually your city or your county and your state all have an emergency management agency. They might have a slightly different name, but each of those agencies, or Office of Emergency Services, is tasked with ensuring you and your family's safety and helping you prepare, helping you respond, and helping you recover. So you can also go check out each of their pages, and they all have alert and warning information that can help you prepare for and respond to wildfires and other emergencies. So that will buy you critical time to evacuate early. If you go to beckmanready.com, we actually have, if you live in California, and we're working to build this out, we've actually linked directly to the emergency alert tools for each of the major counties and cities in California. That's all for this video. We went through when do wildfires happen and what are the conditions where they might happen, and some of the tools that you can use to put in your tool belt to help you prepare for wildfires and to take quick action if you have to evacuate. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and hit like or subscribe, because we've got a lot more content like this coming your way that's actionable, practical, and tailored just to you. So thanks for sticking with us, and we hope to see you again real soon.